Hello everybody and welcome to a different video here on the channel. You know who I am, it's me, the Peaky Arrow. Basically we're going to do a tier list of all of the MCU films and the Disney Plus TV shows. I haven't included the Netflix ones just because we still haven't had full confirmation that they're connected to the MCU. So I'm just doing all the ones that are available pretty much on Disney Plus and that are confirmed MCU. So I'm not going to do an order from obviously from release date. I'm just obviously I've got an order of all the pictures of the posters. Just going to throw them into what category I honestly think they deserve to be in and my honest opinion on each movie. So yeah. So here we go. Here's the list down here. So yeah, we'll start with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Honestly, it's a D for me. It was fun. It was a bit comical, but I don't really like. The Ant-Man films aren't my favourite. And speaking of Ant-Man, we have the first one here. I'm gonna give it a C. Just because it introduced a lot newer characters to the MCU, and obviously we got to see Scott Lang, we got to see the Wasp kind of teased at the very end of that film, and obviously the coolest villain of all, Yellow Jacket, which was pretty fun. Next we have Age of Ultron. It's an F. Didn't really enjoy Age of Ultron that much. I honestly, I don't know why I didn't enjoy it. It just didn't really hit the spot for me to bring in Ultron in, and they killed Ultron off way too quickly in the film. Like, yeah. Endgame, honestly, is going to be an S. Well, fuck it. I fucking enjoyed Endgame. Probably gonna get flagged on that. Yeah, Endgame, honestly, one of the best MCU films made. I think a lot of people can agree on my opinion with that. Black Widow. Black Widow was a B for me. I enjoyed Black Widow. The only issue I had with Black Widow is that it should have been released between Civil War and Infinity War. Because obviously that's how we got to know what happened between Civil War and Infinity War with Natasha. So it should have been released in that window, not at the start of Phase 4. Yeah. Infinity War was an A. I enjoyed Infinity War. It was fun. It was everything I'd hoped it to be. It was emotional, especially at the end, where half the universe got snapped away, including some of our favourite heroes. Yeah, that was it. It gave us wanting and needing Endgame even more, and that's what I love about it. Next is Black Panther. Black Panther was an S. I went and saw a midnight showing of Black Panther before Infinity War, and I loved Black Panther. Being able to see more of that side of the MCU in live action was amazing. I loved every part of it. Civil War was a B. I enjoyed Civil War. It introduced us to new characters, like it introduced us to Black Panther, introduced us to Spider-Man, and we got to see a side of the heroes that we never really saw before. They were fighting amongst themselves. And I think it kind of showed a little bit more humanity amongst the Earth's mightiest heroes, because, they all more or less chose a different side. Captain America: The First Avenger is an F. Still to this day, I don't enjoy the first Captain America film. It's just very long-winded for me. I get, obviously it is an origin story, and it was still at the start of the MCU. It was in Phase 1 before they even called it the phases. Yeah, it just really didn't do it for me. yeah. So Captain America and Winter Soldier, C. It was good. It was more of an espionage type spy movie more than anything for me. What I felt like it was, because obviously you saw like Cap and Romanoff going undercover halfway through the movie, because obviously they'd been outed by Shield, and then obviously you got the whole thing of the Hydra. That Hydra was still around to this day, infiltrating Shield, and that for me that was quite cool. Captain Marvel, it's a D. I didn't enjoy Captain Marvel that much, but it doesn't deserve to be an F or a worse fate than F. I don't really, still to this day, can't really watch Captain Marvel all the way through in one sitting. I usually stop halfway through and then carry on another day. I don't know why. I get bored halfway through, and then I just have to stop, go do something else, and then I'll resume it later on. Doctor Strange, it's a B. We got to see the mystical and the magical side of the MCU with Doctor Strange, and obviously, if you all know the comics, and obviously with Marvel, there's so many different directions you can go down, and they did Doctor Strange fantastic, which is why I can't wait for Doctor Strange 2, because I love the magical and the mystical side of the MCU, because we need more of it. Eternals, it's a C. I enjoyed it. It felt a little bit too long. I think it's like nearly 3 hours long. It just felt too long for me. I think it should have been at least 2.5, a 2 to 2.5 hour film. Shouldn't have been nearly 3 hours. But we got to see maybe the possibility of Black Knight. Is it Black Knight? Dane Whiteman, obviously coming back in the future, and we got a sneak preview of Blade's voice in the post-credit scene as well. And of course, Thanos' brother, Star Fox, Eros, was revealed. So we get to see more of that in the future, hopefully. Guardians of the Galaxy 1. It's an A. It was funny. It was comical. It was everything the Guardians kind of are in the comics. They nailed the roles perfectly with the actors and the actresses. I love the whole dynamic of the group, because they are a band of misfits come together with one pure goal of defeating Ronan, and then they kind of stick together because they see themselves as a family. And speaking of Guardians 2, it's a C. I didn't like the fact that they changed Peter's dad's origin in the MCU to what it was in the comics. In the comics, he was an alien. He was a king of Sparta. It was the planet Sparta, and this, he was the celestial ego. So, yeah, didn't really enjoy that much. And obviously Yondu's death, was pretty hard hitting. Iron Man 1, it's a B. Iron Man 1 is still probably one of my... it kicked off the MCU, let's be honest. This film here, it kicked what we have now. The 27 films and series that we have now, that started everything. And if it wasn't for Iron Man, we wouldn't have all these great films and shows out and that are coming soon. So we owe Iron Man a big deal for that. But yeah, it's a B. It has its flaws, it has its good sides, but Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, perfect role. We've got Iron Man 2. It's a choice between... I'll put it in D. It's a choice between C and D, just because, they started to tackle Tony's alcoholism in the film, and then they just, forgot about it. And that was a big part of who Tony Stark was in the comics, and I think they should have brought that into the MCU that little bit more. But then obviously you had the PTSD from Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is probably going to be in the D section with Iron Man 2. Just because of, I don't know, I think it was the whole Extremis thing that didn't get me. Extremis wasn't what they made it out to be in the MCU. In the comics, it was something different. And yeah, I really didn't enjoy Iron Man 3 that much. Shang-Chi's going in S. Shang-Chi was amazing. I loved this side of the MCU, and I want to see more of this side of the MCU, you know, the martial arts side of it all, because my God, the choreography and the fighting was amazing. You can tell that the actors, the actresses, the directors, the stunt men and women really, really performed well on this film. And you saw that in the film with the choreography. Loved every minute of it. What we got here? We have got Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home is probably going to be an A. I loved having Mysterio in the MCU because we never saw a live action Mysterio before. It was fun, but killing him off at the end he's meant to be one of Spider-Man's greatest villains, and they killed him off at the end like it was nothing. Or so we think. Is he really dead? And then we've got Homecoming, which was the first Spider-Man film in the MCU. That's probably going to go for A as well, because again, we got to see Vulture in the MCU. We never really got to see a live-action Vulture before. The only flaw with these two Spider-Man films is they relied on the presence of Iron Man too much. Like, Iron Man was heavily influenced in Homecoming, and he was in it. And also in Far From Home, I get it was set directly after Endgame, and Peter was still coming to terms over Tony's death and everything. But I feel like they could have used other heroes a little bit more and referenced other heroes a little bit more, just because the fact that I think they were still trying to roll over the whole Iron Man was the start of everything, and you know, that was my only flaw with those two. The first Avengers, I'm gonna go for an S. I saw this film when it came out in theatres in 2012. I saw this film 6 times in 1 week. I love this film. I still love the first Avengers film. It's why it's in the S category. We got to see Earth's mightiest heroes come together for the very first time on the big screen. And in live action, I really think we had all 6 main Avengers. It was brilliant. We got to see a little bit more of Hawkeye because we got to see him a little bit in Thor, but we got to see him actually here fighting. And if you didn't know, Hawkeye is one of my favourite Avengers. To us, any Archer is like one of my favourite. I love all Archers, which is why I probably like Hawkeye a lot more than anyone else. Next we have The Incredible Hulk. It's an F. I don't enjoy The Incredible Hulk. I don't think many people do enjoy this film. Plus, it's still is it not in the MCU type thing, but yeah, I just really didn't enjoy it, and I struggle trying to go back and watch this one when I do a rewatch of the films, just because of it's not my favourite. Thor 1, that's probably a D. It was great seeing Thor in live action. It was great seeing the Frost Giants and Loki and Odin and Freya, and obviously Lady Sif and the Warriors 3. But yeah, to me it just didn't. I just didn't enjoy it that much. Ragnarok's a D. It was funny, but it didn't fit the 4 films. I loved what Taika Waititi did. I can never pronounce his name correctly, so forgive me. But yeah, I don't know. There's just something about it that I just didn't like, and I can't put my finger on it. Thor: Dark World. It's a fate worse than F. It's a worse fate than F. I don't think I just enjoyed the Thor movies that well, to be honest. You know, and the Thor Dark World, it just didn't. I just don't like it. It's one of my least favourite films. Or it is my least favourite film, I suppose, if it's in a fate worse than F. Next we have Spider-Man it's No Way Home. No Way Home is an S. I'm not going to do any spoilers because the film is still out and not many people have been able to get to see it yet. But it's one of my favourite films, and yeah, it's. I think this was what they should have kicked Phase 4 off with. They should have started with No Way Home and just rolled the rest out like that. Next we have the Disney Plus shows. I am going to go in order for these. So WandaVision came out first. WandaVision is an A. It's an A for me. It's in the A category. I loved WandaVision. It was weird, kooky, funny, and just seeing a sitcom-based Marvel show was amazing. And I'm glad they went that route with it. And we got to see more and a bit more backstory to Scarlet Witch, whereas she's always had these powers, but the Soul Stone that Hydra used prior to the events of Age of Ultron just enhanced those powers and made them stronger for her to be able to... They manifested, basically. And then we had Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's a D. I enjoyed Falcon and Winter Soldier. But it just took too long, I think, for them to make Falcon into the new Captain America. He didn't really take the role up until the very last episode. Whereas in the at the end of Endgame, they teased it straight away, and it just took too long for me. Then we had Loki. Loki's going in S. I loved Loki. I loved seeing the TVA in the MCU. And we got confirmation that what the Avengers did in Endgame going back in time was the correct path they chose. Because the TVA didn't get involved. So obviously there was no... That was meant to happen, kind of thing. Then we had What If. What If will probably go in S as well. I loved What If, especially the Marvel Zombies episode, and the episode where they brought everyone together in the final one, in the final 2 episodes. It all came to fruition of what was happening. Loved it. Now, the last one, Hawkeye, is going in S. I loved Hawkeye. It was amazing. I loved the chemistry between Clint and Kate from the start, where Clint just wanted to get on with what he was wanting to get done, and obviously Kate was trying to help and get involved. And then slowly but surely he started to trust her and let her in. Sorry, my lizard's being very noisy. And that final cameo of Kingpin was amazing. Finally, we got to see Kingpin in the MCU. Sorry for spoilers for who haven't seen it, but it's all over the internet now, as well as the Spider-Man spoilers. But I loved it. It was amazing, and I hope we get to see more of Kingpin, especially with the Echo TV show coming soon. Obviously, we've got to see Echo in Hawkeye, so maybe that's what her season's going to be about. But yeah, that is my honest opinion of the MCU. I hope you all enjoy this video. If you want to see me do more tier list reactions, let me know in the comments. I have a few ideas of what I could do. I'm not a big DC fan, but I could do the DC films if you want, like the DCEU as they tried to call it, or maybe the CW shows like Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow. I can do that. I really don't mind. Or I could do Power Ranger seasons. If you want me to see me do a Power Ranger seasons one, let me know in the comments, and I'll make it, because I'm currently on my rewatch through all the seasons, so this will entice me to finish that rewatch as soon as I can, so I can rate them honestly. And guys, if you haven't already, click subscribe, ring the bell so you know when I've got videos coming out soon. A lot is going to be happening with this channel soon, and I can't wait to show you guys what's going to be happening. So peace out, have a good day,